I wish a lot of people would just shut up and let him work. Like, it was a really good meal. Next day, we had to chase Kyler Murray around.
You know what this is? This is somebody lashing out because you're never drafted in fantasy. Your defense is drafted
Ooh,
in fantasy.
burn. Support for this show comes from Starbucks. It's finally here. No, I'm not talking about fantasy football. 4 words: Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. Embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Just Football. I'm Cam, that's Hayden, and today we get to talk college football, NFL, and one thing I must remind everybody is that we are now recording a day later, right?
Well, we're releasing a day later. We were releasing on Tuesdays.
A day later.
We will release on Wednesdays now. It's in season. That's what we do. It'll be on Wednesdays now.
Yes. We will be talking about the games. We'll be talking about a whole lot of stuff. Have a listen. But let's get down into why we came here today. Hey, this week of NFL football is right around the corner.
It's here. We are here. It's the first week. It's week 1. Steelers got the Jets this weekend. A great slate of college football, though, this past weekend. I know you're probably very happy. Good result for you guys and your boys. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But a lot of news has happened since the last time me and you've recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand on the Micah Parsons trade? And do you think the Cowboys got what they should have gotten for him?
I don't think they got enough. But
really,
I think you look at the climate of everything. You already offered a guy $40 million and he turned it down. I need $40 million in returns, and I don't know if I got that. You got 2 first-round picks, and I really like the Kenny Clark addition. Another guy that can play run and pass. I know they were really valuing that position. I know Mozzie Smith hasn't really panned out to this point, but I think when you look at what Micah Parsons brings to the table, whether it's not just sacks, but turnovers and being accounted for on the field constantly, you can't replace that. And now you put him with a guy like Rashawn Gary, they're going to wreak a lot of havoc going forward. And I think it was almost too quick of a trade. I feel like you could have maybe just eked out maybe another pick or 2.
Yeah, well, I also wonder, too, if trading him was on the board, why not entertain this before the draft? And maybe you could get capital and you get a bidding war starting for him, too, right? Because I'm with you. I like the 2 first-round picks. I like the Kenny Clark. But I would have also liked to see maybe a second or 2 and a third-rounder in there and get more picks because, man, how many guys in the league, seriously, are the Micah Parsons game wrecker? What you can name what? From the outside, like 5 guys maybe that are as good as him. So you're right. I don't think they got everything back they needed to. More picks, definitely. And then for him to sign a 4-year, $188 million deal, too, huge money for Micah Parsons. Well-deserved. He's still young, too.
Big props to his agent getting that done. It's funny because I think the agent kind of went dark on Jerry Jones for a good bit.
Yeah.
And then after that, the last offer they made and said, hold on, I'm going to get you some more. And he came through and got more. So big props to him and his crew for getting it done. But this could be one of those trades that you look back and say, what the hell were the Dallas Cowboys thinking? Or the Dallas Cowboys got out in front of it and knew this could be something worse down the road. So, time will tell.
I think it makes Green Bay really good, though. Like you said, the 2 outside guys, they already have a lot of skill guys on offense, too. And I've seen people say they should just be more aggressive now on offense, which they probably will. What did you make of that Jerry Jones issue with Micah's agent? A lot going on there. Have you heard of issues like that in Dallas before from other guys? Like, is it really as different there dealing with the owner as it is in other places?
I've heard the owner likes to be more hands-on and not have the agent always present. That shouldn't be how deals are negotiated, to put that type of pressure on a player without him having the entire landscape of what's going on. I don't think that's fair to the player in that sense. I don't care how you got your money. Do it accordingly and have some, organization to it. But the only thing I was really surprised about was you traded the guy in the NFC. So
That
that is, we don't see a lot of these things happen, of going to the same conference, because you don't want to see that guy. You don't want him to divulge secrets. You don't want to just have that back and forth. So we'll see.
Well, and Cam, September 28th, Green Bay comes to Dallas. So you're traded him to a team you're going to be playing this year. And let's be real, if you make it to the playoffs, you're going to see him again there, because Green Bay, with that defense and that offense, is probably going to be a factor in January and February. So I was shocked with that too, and I'm wondering why they didn't ship him out there. Was the offer just not good enough from an AFC team? I can't believe that. I was shocked by that too. That's a great point by you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's go to your teammate too. Jaylen Warren today, the news comes out, 2-year extension, $17.5 million over 3 years. Well, they will pay him. He'll make $7 million this season. That's a guy, man, who I believe was undrafted, has really fought his way through. I believe he went to JUCO too before he went to Oklahoma State. Incredible story. He's been on the show a couple times. You got to be happy for your boy there, right?
Very happy. When you hear about Jaylen Warren's story, and to know he was undrafted and went to rookie camp, and when you're not drafted and you're going to rookie camp, you're facing an uphill battle. And to watch him just climb over every hill and continue to just keep getting better and showing what he can, and being responsible for some of the right things in our locker room, the right things going forward. I'm happy. I'm really happy for this kid. He has a bright future. He works his tail off, wants to be great, and a lot of guys can learn from how he goes about his work. He's a mighty mouse. He's one of our short kings, I like to say. But it's really nice to see a guy rewarded like that.
Yeah, really happy for him. A really good guy. Also, I saw a note on him. So he's the first Steeler running back to sign a second contract with the team since Willie Parker, who is his cousin. I did not know him and Willie Parker were cousins.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me. I did not know that. Have we talked about that?
Yeah, we talked about it last time on the pod.
Did we really? Wow,
Yeah.
My short-term memory is bad. That's wonder
brain
why
cells
that.
are lost, my dog.
Well, yeah, brain cells have been fried to pieces, but still, incredible note though. That is really cool. Happy for Jaylen Warren.
Yes,
and yeah, man, excited to see what he and Caleb Johnson do today or this year, and yeah, we're excited for him, man.
Shout out to Jaylen. Congrats, brother.
Any other news we want to report on? Anything about you going on? Everything good with you?
Nope.
Before I move to college football?
Nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. All right, well, let's go to Saturday. Your boys got a big win over Texas. Ohio State wins the big college football game, 14-7. What were your takeaways? Me and you were texting during this game. I don't think Arch Manning played his best. I don't think either one of us was very impressed with it, but it was just a tough game against a really good defense.
I don't think Arch, you can beat a dead horse and say he played bad. And yes, I agree with that. But I don't think we played well as a team as Ohio State. Not enough touches to our wide receivers. You got a big one to Tate. You got a couple of shorter passes to Jeremiah Smith, but I don't think there was a lot of explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball. And I know you got a quarterback who hasn't been seasoned and hasn't been through these moments enough, but I'd like to see them open up the offense. And on defense, there was no pressure. I was very disheartened by that. I'm looking for, someone to really stand out on that front, because you've had guys like Jack Sawyer, JT Tuamalo, you've had Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. You keep going back, Chase Young. There's a multitude of guys that you have to circle week in and week out. And if you don't, they're the reason they can wreck a game. And I just haven't seen that. So we something to pay attention to in the next couple of weeks. I do think our punter was amazing. The punter did an amazing job of putting them in backed up positions, not giving a lot of return yards, and that was a hitting yardage type of game.
What did you think of? I've seen a lot of people say, it was Matt Patricia's defense against Arch, and that really caused a lot of Arch's issues. How do you think Matt Patricia did in his first college game with Ohio State? A lot's been made about that guy. I know he had a bad stint as the head coach with the Lions, but he was a good DC with the Patriots. Seemed like he was in his bag on Saturday, though.
A little funky first half. I wasn't crazy about it. There was a couple times he had 2 threes, 1st and 10. He had 2-3 techniques, and it just created wide lanes for the center to just go forward, and their running game was actually more successful than ours. but I think it comes to coaching in this game. We converted fourth downs. They didn't. There were
Mm-hmm.
like, if you take points, you probably have a better sense, and you might just end with a field goal to win it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the name of the game sometimes.
I will say the last 2 years, you guys have been great in fourth and goal situations. It's very hard to score in Ohio State. And I will say, too, Caleb Downs is just everywhere. That guy's
Yeah.
awesome. He's a great player. How do you watch college football? I feel like as a guy who's been played in the league 15 years, do you get angry watching college football? Because it sounded like you were a little annoyed with Matt Patricia's defense there a little bit.
Just like everybody's looking to be exotic, and sometimes the most exotic doesn't always get it done. You can try to hide bad players or bad alignments. But I just look for competent coaching, one, and then, sometimes you get some boneheaded like plays, and you'll be like, why the hell were you blitzing? It's a third and long or second and long. And, you could have kept guys at the sticks. I know you want the ball out quick, but then you gave yourself susceptible plays elsewhere. But there was just some things I'm just like, man, and that's not even just this game, but they're like, sometimes coaches try to be too nuanced and too I have to reinvent the wheel. And it really does shine a light on how dumb some of these coaches are.
See,
Everybody wants to be Nick Saban, but can't do Nick Saban stuff.
So it sounds like you think there's actually more bad coaching in college football than there's
100%. 100%.
Really?
100%.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And that is at coordinator level, head coach level? Is it just all across the board too?
All across the board. It could be a position group. It could be an entire defense. It could be just simply as running the ball. I was kind of pissed off watching that Bama versus FSU game. The effort not given in that game was beyond me. Watching Nick Saban coach all these years, you never had to question anybody's health or, want to. And to go now and watch a Bama team give that up, that's
loafing.
That's one thing you got to pride yourself on. Do you want to be good? And that's one thing you can control.
Well, and you brought that game up. Bama goes to Florida State, loses 31-17 in a sloppy game, but they didn't play well. Florida State really ran the ball on them, was able to do whatever they wanted. But I question, though, is the effort thing, obviously it's coaching too, but the players got to have a little pride too, right? You shouldn't need to be motivated by your coach week one to chase down a play on the back end. We saw that game last night. A Miami defensive lineman chases the screen down the field, ball gets tipped up in the air and he makes a pick. You got to follow. You got to want to follow the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't control your talent all the time, but you can control your effort. So I know DeBoer's got to do that, and that's culture. But also, players got to have some pride, right?
I think it's a little bit of both. Either you're coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. And so you look at what's going on. You're in a Bama versus FSU game at night. How are you
3:30,
not?
3:30. Yeah.
It ends at night, but all eyes are on you.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not be up for that?
And add in Florida State's quarterback was talking mad shit all offseason about what they were going to do to him, and they did it. Where's your motivation?
B2A.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I got to give that guy credit, man. He runs around. He's not a very big dude, but he runs around like crazy back there. Yeah. And give Florida State props, man. That's a 2-win team last year that came out and really took it to Alabama. And I was expecting a lot more from Bama, we'll say, man. It is kind of funny, though. Everybody can pay the players now, but the SEC no longer dominates. Isn't that a little strange?
Can't keep it all in one conference.
Yeah, can't do it, man. All right, I want to talk about one more, or we can go to two more games, but at least one more game. LSU versus Clemson Saturday night. Did you watch any of that? What did you think of the quarterback play in that game?
It was better than around the league, but I hate the scrambling around and then finding an open receiver that at the next level you should be sacked or it should be picked off.
That happened a couple times at Notre Dame, Miami.
Yeah, and you just watch these games, you're like, man, that is the true difference between college and NFL. It's when a running back cuts back and thinks he's just got angles for days. That's not there in the NFL level. And yes, it might work at this level when quarterbacks are scrambling and they might get an open hole and they can take off. But you're taught in the NFL is you better slide dude because
Mhm.
dudes are it's not headhunting, but they licking the chops for it. So and when that ball's in the air, I just think to have guys scrambling around, throwing off their back foot, it's ugly.
No, and I will say a quarterback run has become a big thing in college football. I mean, you saw that in the South Carolina Virginia Tech game too.
Yep.
Both those quarterbacks are running the football a ton. Sellers is an incredible athlete and physical, but I also worry like, man, you don't want to take those kind of shots even in college, but you definitely don't want to be doing that in the pros, right?
No.
Was there a quarterback that impressed you the most this weekend?
I think Sellers.
Really?
The physicality, the breaking of the tackles, and the speed with it. The kid looks like he's going to have a successful NFL career.
Yeah, I also too. They have a couple freaks on that team.
Yeah.
Nicholas Arbor, the guy he was throwing the ball to, that guy is humongous at wide. I thought it was a tight end. I don't know if he is a tight end or what, but very fast, very impressive. All right. Well, any other college games we talk about this past week before I go to the big one next week?
I want to get your take. Michigan
sure.
played New Mexico, and they did a tush push, and it was a fake tush push, and New Mexico ended up scoring off of it. And I just thought, even being down and then watching the celebration after, it was hilarious because the celebration went so hard, even though you were down 10. What was your take on that situation?
I will say they did celebrate. I will say too, though. I will say twice. Great play call. I mean, executed perfectly. Great play call. But yeah, the celebration was a little much, dude. A little much. I mean, like you're still down. It was 17-0. You needed a tush push fake whatever pass. Great play call though, and I'm sure it will be duplicated.
Yeah.
But I also worry about the execution of that. The way that rolled back, it rolled back perfectly. That ain't gonna happen every time.
Support for this show comes from Starbucks. The real pumpkin spice latte is now in season at Starbucks. As a football player, the end of July through August is always challenging. It's the dead of the summer. I've got coaches putting me through drills as we get ready for the upcoming season. It's a part of the game I love, but only one thing gets me through the season, and that's pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks. That's right, Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes are officially back in the starting lineup. Handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, and real pumpkin. Then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I was able to get my hands on a few PSLs. I gotta say, they're pretty awesome. So now that PSLs are back, coffee lovers everywhere can enjoy all the fall moments that happen at Starbucks all season long. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, get it while it's hot or iced.
Jets, Steelers, Pittsburgh heading to New York. What needs to happen for you guys to win this game? You're going to see an old teammate in Justin Fields. They're going to want to run the football. You always say you got to stop the run. What are the keys to win Sunday?
Man, the run game is definitely going to be a key to stop this team. Breece Hall, Justin Fields, they do it in different ways, but are, very successful when they get going. Breece Hall, home run back. He even took a check down for a touch. I think a long run or a touchdown
last year.
And once Justin gets going, it's only a matter of time where he's just going to beat you up and make your DBs step up. So we got to have a good plan. We got to keep contained. We got to not have any north and south rush lanes, because if you don't do that, then he's putting his head down, he's rushing forward, and he's just going to wear on our team. On the defensive side of the ball, Quentin Williams, he's healthy. Sauce Gardner. We got to get going with our offense. Run and pass. Jaylen Warren's got to be successful. Caleb Johnson. I'm really interested to see how we use Kenneth Gainwell this week. And then, we have some newer guys that get to finally show what they're about. Aaron, DK, Jonnu, watching Pat and Connor and Darnell, getting to see what Roman Wilson looks like in year 2, Calvin Austin being healthy finally. I think it's a good crew that, is just chomping at the bit to see what we're about.
You brought up the new guys on offense. I'm excited about the new guys on defense too. Ramsey, Slay. How are you guys preparing for them? Obviously, week one's got to be very tough. You have nothing on them. New coaching staff, new quarterback. What are you doing to prepare for what you think the Jets are going to do?
Whole lot. You got to watch everything. Watch where all these players came from. Watch watch what they did last year. Watch what they did in preseason. Watch what they did 3 years ago. Watch what Aaron Glenn is accustomed to. There's just a multitude of things you got to make sure you're ready for.
Well, I guess my question is offensively, we're trying to win this one for Aaron Rodgers, right? Like you guys, these revenge games are real, correct? Or do you save his revenge game for Green Bay?
It's not a revenge game. We got Chuck Clark too. Chuck Clark was a Jet as well. Don't be just singling it out for just the quarterback. This is the problem in our league. That's all we talk about. It is the problem in the league. QB storylines.
It's a quarterback league, though, man. It's a quarterback league. You know how it is. Like, come on. You seem to be sad about that.
Whatever.
But I forgot Chuck Clark did play there. But I feel like Aaron was the bigger storyline there.
That's your problem. Aaron was the bigger storyline.
I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, man. Everybody wants to know more about him.
Yes.
All right. Anything else we need to know before this game Sunday? What we will? Well, I guess the main question too: will Cam Heyward be out there?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, I love it. Well, stop the run and run the football. Right.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to other games. Week 1. Any games that look juicy to you? Obviously, there's a big one: Ravens at Bills, Lions at Packers, 49ers and Seahawks, Chiefs and Chargers in Brazil, and the Cowboys and Eagles. Any of those games pique your interest this weekend?
Well, none of them are juicy. I'll just say that. I don't think I look at a game and say, "Oh, that looks juicy."
Oh, that Ravens-Bills game's pretty juicy. It's pretty juicy.
Is that what the kids are saying now?
I think that's what they're saying. It's juicy. It's juicy. Yeah, it's very juicy.
I think the Ravens-Bills game is definitely a game you got to watch, especially since they were both in the playoffs last year, matched up, and it came down to a couple plays. I think the Bills have added some pieces. Joey Bosa is now there. And, on the Ravens side, what is this team going to look like and how does it take a step forward with their team? So we'll see what happens. But I think everybody's going to be watching that game as well.
Yeah, dueling MVPs, right? That was 1-2 in the MVP and All-Pro vote last year.
There goes your QB storyline. Way to get it done. Did you see
but you perked up. You said, "Oh, that's right." You perked up when I said that.
Because I was trying to just have some fun with it.
No, you perked up because quarterbacks crush this. They run the world, unfortunately, the world of football. I do want to talk about that Brazil game Friday. You've mentioned to me before, overseas games are different. Have you heard about the Brazil game and what goes on down there?
A whole lot of everything. Brazil is. I hear it's beautiful, but security is at the top of everybody's mind, and I pray for organization. I heard it was a little bit all over the place last time.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Because they've only played there once, correct?
They played there last year. I think it was the Eagles and somebody else. I can't remember.
I think it was Eagles-Packers. It was Eagles-Packers Friday.
Eagles-Packers, yeah.
Okay, one last game I want to talk to you about is the Thursday night opener, Cowboys at Eagles. What do you expect to see from your old teammate George Pickens, and what does that Dallas defense look like minus Micah Parsons?
I don't know what the Cowboys defense is going to look like. I know they did sign Bland, and he got a nice contract.
Yeah, that's so weird how that happens, right? They let Micah walk.
You can't pay Micah. You can pay a whole lot of other people. $40 million can be spread out. But, on the Cowboys side for offense, what does CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens look like together? You got Dak throwing the ball. He's got another target. So we'll see how they mesh. We'll see how it looks. But you're playing the Super Bowl winners last year, the Eagles. So it's not an easy feat, and I'm pretty sure the Eagles are going to be ready for that. You get to see DK Metcalf for the first time. You get to see Pat Freiermuth with Aaron Rodgers. You get to see Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith, Connor Heyward, who I got to give a lot of props for. I don't think he gets enough love for the dirty work he does. I know there's a lot made out about he's my brother, but the dude works his ass off, comes to practice. He is a special teams energy bringer, and not many white shirts, like we like to call them, have 10 plus tackles in a year, and we don't value that enough. I think as a fan base, I've watched guys like Miles Killebrew and Tyler Matakevich and Mark Robb and who else throughout the years? Jordan Dangerfield. These guys have killed on special teams and providing for your family. And Connor's got blocks, he's got tackles, and I just think he does bring a level of trust because of the way he works in practice on the offense side of the ball. Has he had everything he wants? No, but he's going to keep working at it. And I think as a fan base, I just ask that respect the way that kid works. Stop looking at it as my little brother. Respect how he does it, and go about your business. Still on the offensive side of the ball, you got our offensive line who's young that gets a chance to keep proving themselves. Broderick Jones in year 3 now. Troy Fautano in his first complete year, hopefully. Zach Frazier in year 2. Mason McCormick, Isaac Siamalo. All these guys are looking to gel together. And then you got Calvin Austin. You can't forget about him, and Roman Wilson. So we got some guys and playmakers that on the offensive side of the ball that are chomping at the bit to kind of prove themselves.
Yeah, on the Connor thing, I'll just say, I mean, the nepotism thing or whatever. It's like, guys, this is the NFL. This is the real world. People are not on rosters because of their brothers or whoever it is. Also, if you need to hear how good of a player Connor is, Aaron Rodgers has singled him out multiple times this year, and that's a 4-time MVP and one of the greatest players to ever play. I don't think he would just be saying that to make you happy.
And I'll say this. Half of the people talking can't even line up, so I don't want to hear anything more about them. So, he doesn't get enough respect, but I don't think y'all could even do what he's doing.
Well, they won't say it in person too. Exactly. And I'm not saying like I'm going to fight you, but if you're not going to keep the same energy in person, like you can talk behind a screen, that's fine. But
it's terrible reporting or anything if you think he's here because of me.
Yeah,
I wasn't even part of the process of him getting drafted. They didn't tell me anything.
You're the reason he got drafted. You walked into Tomlin's office and you did it.
Y'all don't respect him for who he is and how he works. And if y'all saw the way he cares and saw the way he puts in the time to try to get better and answer all those things, I just feel like y'all have done him a disservice in not giving that kid a chance. And I wish a lot of people would just shut up and let him work.
I agree. And it's unfortunately not the entire fan base, but there's a percentage of the fan base that just sucks. And that's just how it is. Like just how it is at every fan base. It's not just the Steelers, it's everywhere.
100%.
All right, Cam, you want to play a game of this or that with Steeler fantasy football names?
I guess so.
You don't seem excited about this. I need some pep in your step. It's week 1. Let's go. Fantasy football. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's what I like to hear. All right, here we go. This or that.
I'll tell you my fantasy football name and at the end. How about that?
All right. Well, do you have a favorite of this list?
Let's just go through them and I can tell you yes or no.
All right. The first one, carry on my Heyward son.
Not a big fan of who sings that. Kansas.
I think it is a Kansas.
Yeah, but man, I feel like carry on my Heyward son. I guess
when you sing it, when you sing it, it is a little bit better. All right. Yes. Would you like carry on my Heyward son versus Steeler virginity?
Steeler virginity is pretty wild, Allison, but
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably the best one here. Steeler virginity, I will say the first time I read it without saying it out loud, I was like, Steeler virginity, what the fuck does that mean? Then I was like, oh. Then I was like, wow. That's a little bit better than I thought. All right, so you're going Steeler virginity on this? What are you saying?
Steeler virginity.
Okay. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood versus the Raj Father.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Classic.
I like that because it's the play on Pittsburgh, but the Raj Father's not terrible.
Yeah.
Met California Dreamin' versus DK Have It Your Way.
DK Have It Your Way is way better.
The California Dream is not bad. It's just whatever.
It's a mouthful.
Metcalf Gala versus American Ninja Warren.
Can I say neither?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. You can say either whatever you want. All right. Air Fryer versus Scrone Necklace of Narnia?
We'll go with the latter.
Of Narnia. Oh, sorry. The Schronicles of Narnia.
The Scrone Necklace.
Yo, man. I can't do the team Cordy fantasy football names, even though I do think Steeler virginity is pretty funny.
I was going to go Steel Magnolias for mine.
Wow. Is that what yours is going to be? You're going to play fantasy football when you retire, right?
I don't know if you really play. but
What do you mean? Yeah, you play?
you
What
don't
are you
really
talking
do
about?
anything. It's just you sitting on a
That's where you're
computer.
wrong. That's where you're totally wrong.
Bunch of
You're totally
bums
wrong.
sitting around trying to live out some dreams on a
No,
fantasy football
no,
team.
nope, 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 nope.
Ooh, I
That's
get to
not
look
true.
at my little list and see how everybody did.
You know
Let
what
me
this is? This is somebody lashing out because you're never drafted in fantasy. Your defense is drafted in
Ooh,
fantasy.
burn.
That's what it
You
is.
hurt
Trust me.
my feelings.
If you were, you seem hurt. You seem hurt.
I,
You're
hurt people
mocking.
hurt people.
You're mocking something that you don't understand, and that's okay. That's all right.
I
Okay.
don't understand it.
But just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's not cool.
I think that's 100% what it means. It's not cool.
No, there's plenty of things that you don't understand that are cool, and fantasy football is one of them. Okay.
No, not at all. I think fantasy football is just like it's analytics and it makes people feel like they understand math now.
You're right. It's $1 billion industry, and you're the one who's right on this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, that's totally wrong. And honestly, I did this with my father-in-law. I got him into fantasy football, and now he's like an addict. He
So
cannot help
you're
himself.
comparing me to your father-in-law. Thanks.
No, I'm saying once you get a taste of the competition, you will want to do more fantasy football.
Well, once you get a chance of playing real football, you don't have to go back.
That's never going to happen for me. I mean, what are we talking about?
We could sign you up for the USFL.
Listen. Chris
you in
Cooley
there.
used to play fantasy football while playing in the NFL. Okay?
Who did?
Chris Cooley. You could do it.
What do you think he enjoyed more?
You know what I bet? I know what he's still doing today. Bet he's still playing fantasy football. You know what he's not doing? Playing the NFL.
Maybe he's playing,
No, he's not.
Football.
He's not. No, he's still playing fantasy football though.
Sure. You know for sure.
If a fantasy football company came and said we want to invest in not just football, but you have to play fantasy football, would you do it?
Sign me up.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But it is what it is. Like everybody likes.
You already got your name and everything. Steel Magnolias. That's your name. You could have that one. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. You're good. Well, good luck this weekend. We're rooting for you.
Whoa.
What?
Sir, are you about to miss your only segment that you love doing that I'm contractually obligated to do?
Oh, I didn't know we were talking contracts anymore. Sorry.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was on the table. So
neither did I.
All right. Well, so let's go to the segment that Cam is obligated to do. Ask Cam anything. You can ask us on any of our socials. Go to our YouTube page. You can ask us there. Wherever you find Not Just Football, ask a question, and Cam is obligated to answer it. We're still working on the contract. Funniest teammate you've ever had, Cam?
Oh, it depends on what type of funny you want. Like just like quick-witted, or you want someone who's like a prankster. Do you want I've had it all. The prankster has definitely been Troy over the years. Troy's just a big goofball. I'll even show you the last message Troy sent me.
It's blurry. Is that somebody holding? Is that him holding a picture of you with his hair?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why does he have that? Is that edited?
He made that for me.
He made it?
Yeah.
Man, when was he there?
I don't know, but he just sent that to me the other day.
All right, so who's the other one? Who's the quick-witted one?
Oh, Braden Fajoko is very funny. He says some off-the-wall stuff, and he got very curious about like Aaron Rodgers and all the conspiracies. So that's a whole different thing that just took on a life of its own, but. Pretty funny.
Was it just funny hearing him kind of
yes.
get his eyes opened
he
up?
He wanted to go down a rabbit hole, and Aaron was going to give him everything he wanted. And we will never do that on the pod.
I will say this, though. I don't have kids, so a good rabbit hole is always fun to go down. It's always fun to go down. I have the time to do it. If you have the time to do it, you should do it, okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question here. Which rookie do you see making the biggest impact on this team this year?
I'm still going to go Derek Harmon. I think between him and YA, those dudes are going to make a lot of plays for us this year and really help out the team.
YA feels like he could have played on the 70s team just by like
Why he
look.
looks like he played on the
Is it
70s
by the
team.
look, just by like with the taped fingers and the bellies out, like even like his goatee and stuff, like he looks like he should be.
I call
He
him
should be.
Paw
Why?
because he's like an old grandfather.
He kind of is like he weirdly looks like your age. Like if he had a little bit of
Not my age, older fool.
no, I mean the gray. I will say there's something in our comment section on YouTube who keeps saying like to help Cam get a touch of gray sponsorship for the show, and I'm like, lay off my guy here, guys. Okay, he's not dyeing his hair. He's not doing it.
Gray
okay?
hair. I don't have a problem with it. Like the
That looks
people who have
good.
to dye have a real problem.
Yeah, the salt and pepper looks good on you, dude.
I
It
don't
looks
care.
good.
Shoot.
Yeah,
I
it
know
looks
somebody who likes it. Deal with it.
That's your wife likes it. That's all that
Yeah.
counts. Okay. All right. Big guy Rye 88 wants to know what's your pregame meal?
I usually day of a game. If it's in a 1 o'clock game, I'm just doing a smoothie. I can't do too much. If it's like a 4 o'clock or a night game, I might have some pasta too in the middle of the day.
Did you ever learn? Like, when did you learn you can't have too much for a 1 o'clock kick? Was there a
I've
bad
learned many a
experience?
times. You just you
What's
can't-
the worst thing you've ever eaten before?
Oh, worst thing I've ever eaten before. There was I'll tell you this. Me, it wasn't even the day of. It was the day before. We were out in Arizona. It was like me, TJ, Bud, Tuitt, Hargrave. Might have been Tyson too. But we always try to go to a steakhouse. And there was one day we were out in Arizona about to play the Cardinals, and we ate like kings that night. Like there was tons of steak. There was like everything you could think about on the table, and like it was a really good meal. Next day we had to chase Kyler Murray around, and it was rough. Like we talk about the game and we're like, man, we really didn't get our legs till like the fourth quarter because we were just blowing wind, and that's when they had Kingsbury, so they were trying to go up tempo,
Fast.
and it was like I almost threw up on myself in the first half. So
What'd you eat that night?
everything. We had a great time out.
Man, so that's it though. You know other stories. Like I always think of that the in the replacements when the dude eats all the eggs before the game and just starts vomiting in the huddle. Like
Well,
yeah, I feel like
shoot, I remember I was home for a game because I was injured. My hamstring.
the Miami game.
Miami, and I'm watching the tape,
Timmons.
and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm watching Lawrence Timmons throw up on himself as soon as the game starts, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a rough one. We ended up losing that game too, so
that was a bad game. It was a hot game too. That was hot. They had you guys in the black jerseys too.
Yeah.
It was
Miami's is very sneaky when it comes to that. I don't even know why people allow the like. If you have a dark jersey, that there needs to be a heat advisory there. Like they are literally getting an advantage by being able to have teams play in their black jerseys.
I could be wrong, but I thought last year too, Buffalo was complaining that with the way the sun is, Buffalo, it's there in the sun the entire game when Miami's basically in the shade the entire game too. So it's almost like there's some gamesmanship there too, where
there is
you're not covered at all.
gamesmanship there. And then if you ever look on their sidelines, they always have the really nice, like seated coolers blowing air on them and everything. And then you look on like the opposing and you're like, they have the most like barest like benches, and they are just using it as an advantage to really put a team down in those situations.
Yeah, I've seen that before. A lot of teams complain about that. It is weird that the league allows them to have that advantage, but whatever.
Cool. All right, guys, this is our episode. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, and make sure you drop a follow or a rating wherever you stream our podcast. I want to say thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for Starbucks for their support. There are 3 things that always define the fall: football, cardigans, and Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes. It's time to embrace fall with this seasonal classic pumpkin spice latte, handcrafted with Starbucks signature espresso, steamed milk, pumpkin, and then topped with whipped cream, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Get it while it's hot or iced.